Yo, what is going on, guys? It is the awesome Island Voyager back with a video, and today we're going to be doing factions ranked. Now later on I'm going to be doing a teams ranked video, but today I'd like to rank the factions before I rank the teams. So what I feel like I can make with these factions is sort of like a tier system, but not in the sense of S tier, A tier, B tier, that kind of stuff. With these factions, you can really split them into three categories: meta, viable, and non-viable. The meta factions, I would say, are what's ruling Arena right now, right? What is, due to raids not being out, there isn't really much when it comes to PvE side of things, because yes, we have brick paces that do challenge us, but those require a specific faction 9 times out of 10. For instance, Corn Cob guy, right, when unlocking the Super Wrestler, or I forget which node it was, the Corn Cob or Super Wrestler node, the last node in the collectible journey brick pace, right, that was extremely challenging PvE wise. However, that was a battle that is restricted to the collectibles, and specifically the costume collectibles. So there really isn't like a massively PvE side of the game yet. However, I would say that this video is subject to change when raids come out, if they come out. But for now, we're going to be looking at this more on the PvP side of things, a bit on the PvE side, a little bit. However, this is mostly arena statistics. So, like I said, we're going to be splitting up things into 3 different categories: the meta, viable, and non-viable. And I would say, when it comes to what is meta, right, I would say viable also fits into what is meta too. However, when we're looking at the top end of things, right, when we're looking at specifically when somebody peeks into their arena and all they see is, let me pull up the image real quick, and all they see is this. Another white screen. Okay. And all they see is this. Something tells me that there's a meta going on. So, as such then, we're going to be ranking our first faction. And I think, honestly, this definitely is the number one. And I don't think it's a surprise to many, but Space, I would say, it's the number one. Now, when it comes to early game viability, Space does not really hit it, because you really only get access to Calvin, Reed, Locus, and then later on you hit Commander Cold. But the problem is that the characters that are extremely viable are extremely endgame. Dwayne is really the only slight exception to this rule, as the only reason being is if you have Quincy as well. If you're able to combine Quincy and Dwayne together for an ACO video, an ACO team, then you can get something rolling. But Alan is part of the brick pace, Leo is part of the brick pace, Jen's Cartoscopy, both of those are part of the Master Store. Gorwell have fun opening up those packs, right? And I would say, though, that when it comes to Classic Space themselves, though, they shine so well. They feel like an actual faction when it comes to viability. They feel like they synergize just so well off each other that they feel almost not interchangeable. Sorry, they feel like they can't be separated. Now, going beyond that, Castle is what I'd say is next. And early game Castle does have viability with getting Brutus, Verta, Go-Go, Burnibus, and Magisto. But as you go along, Castle just gets better and better. And with this new brick pace, with Scully, Grimhelma, Malik, and Reaper all out, it just keeps getting better, like I say. But specifically, even before Malik came out, right, with Castle, the previous meta to Space was it's Spooky, with the Ghost, Basil, Willa, and then your plug and play, usually Edon and Slimer, but you could probably go for other things as well. However, with this new team, the Spooky Army team, when Malik does get his ultimate, he's going to extremely shine. This team is going to be insanely good. And I would say could probably rival Classic Space, because right now it's a 50-50. But if those characters come back, those Spooky Army characters coming back, I think you're able to definitely raise the odds of just the 50-50 with Classic Space. Now moving on to the viable factions. These factions can definitely take on Spooky Army and Classic Space. However, it is definitely not as guaranteed as a battle. I would say with these viable factions, they're viable, right? You're still able to run these in Arena and do well, exceptionally well. I'm running Imperials in Arena, well, Imperials Pirate mix, or Buccaneer mix, right? I'm running them in Arena, and I am hitting #1 consistently against the competition. And somebody does have a B tier Classic Space team in my Arena. I'm not very sure where they are standing now. However, I did see a Alan Leo read that kind of team together. But I would say these next three are so tied with each other and so interchangeable. For the most part, I would say the only they're slightly ranked. Like 3 and 4, I would say are the most tied, but 5 still being extremely close. But I would say is definitely 5th. But I would say number 3 would be collectibles. With Super Wrestler, Corn Cob Guy, not even, right? You can make an extremely good team with Fitness Instructor, Demolition Dummy, Super Wrestler. Hiker is extremely good healer. Fitness Instructor, Demolition Dummy just heals, even off of like dots. Super Wrestler, like I said, getting those dazes. He has payback stuns, which is the only character in the game that really does that, and he is so good at doing that. A stun on basic is so good. I would say, especially with Lego House, these characters can really shoot up and really punch above their weight. Now, a collectibles costume team is not as good, I would say, as the regular Hiker, Wrestler, Corn Cob Guy, Demo, Fitness Instructor. And these other characters, though, Cactus Girl, Spooky Girl, Zombie, Highwayman, they don't have as much viability at all. However, they are definitely important to the collectibles team for unlocking Super Wrestler and Corn Cob Guy. The next faction, I would say, is Pirate. Now, if Imperials didn't exist, Pirates would definitely be fifth. However, I really feel as if their accessibility and their viability just hit this extremely good cross section where they are so accessible, not the Imperials, but the Buccaneers, especially when starting in the game. They're so accessible and they're so good early game that, like I said, they hit that crossroad perfectly. And even then, the mostly non-accessible Buccaneer is Castaway, and he's not even that required. And they did put him in the shop, though. But when it comes to Imperials are pretty cracked. And they have so much potential to punch above their weight. I've seen Imperials win against Classic Space. It happens. Right? It's not a clean victory, but it's a victory. And I would say that Imperials really, really are probably like the main faction carrier for Pirates. And it's the main reason why the next faction is fifth. But I would say these are still viable. I've loved what this team has done in the sense that they gave non-viable factions a lot of viability. And I'm talking about this in terms of collectibles, right? They really have let collectibles shine. With the Imperials getting added, they just do so well. And the team hasn't touched Ninjago, but that's only because Ninjago has not really been touched, like I said. And they are still the fifth best faction in the game. Even after Space got its new characters, Castle got its new faction, or sub-faction, new characters, Collectible got its reworks, Pirates got added, Ninjago, I would say, is still very good. And Wu is one of the best plug-and-play characters in this entire game. His ultimate is probably one of the best ultimates in the game. I've not ranked the ultimates, but off the top of my head, in terms of overall strength, he really knocks it out of this world when it comes to his support. And the devs, like I said, have not touched Ninjago. We haven't even got DigiJ. I don't even know in how long. Months. Right? It's November. I started playing this game in August, and we haven't got a single DigiJ event. But, like I've said, Ninjago, definitely fifth, but I would say is still, they're able to take out they're able to barely take out collectibles. However, they can take out Buccaneers. Imperials, it's a very big toss-up, as Imperials are designed to take out Ninjago, but I would say Ninjago, due to Garmadon and Wu and DigiJ existing, can make something of the team. However, it is very, like I said, this team is definitely mostly tied with 3, 4, and 5. However, I would definitely say they are fifth, but not in a bad way. These are still in the viable section. Moving on, however, we get to the non-viable section of this video. And these two are pretty much tied. Right? I would say number 6 would be City. Mostly due to their insane survivability in PvE. I would say City really shines when it comes to getting a hard, let's say Ninjago, or hard just PvE node that requires just a lot of waves to be cleared. The prime PvE city team is like, Chef, Street Sweeper, Firefighter Ash, Aurora, Primo, Businessman if you don't have Primo. City is home to a very viable PvE faction, and I think when raids come out, they can do something. I think they could definitely be able to do something that isn't just sucking PvP. And that's what's holding them back so much in this review. They are so good in PvE, but PvE doesn't matter. It obviously does. But what I'm talking about is your arena rewards are crucial. That payout is so good, right? And when it comes to City, who's maxing out City? Who's even touching City? Right? City's not on their top priority list. You got the top 5 factions in the game, and then you got City, which just sits there and does nothing but clear an occasional hard node. Now, I would definitely say Primo is up there when it comes to viability. Thank you, Primo. So, I would say Primo really makes this faction shine a lot. He's very good. Now, moving on to the worst faction in the game, Ghostbusters. Now, my Ghostbusters aren't anything, obviously. I kind of just don't want to spend any more resources than I have to in Ghostbusters. And until I get my Ghostbusters ready even to take on Slimer, I'm not even going to unlock the hard node for the Ecto 1. However, the only reason why Ghostbusters sits here is because looking at it as a standalone faction. Yes, they could probably take out City, but City's got that PvE viability. Ghostbusters can take out Ninjago, and then you go to sleep and wake up 60th in Arena. Ghostbusters, to put it lightly, I came across a level 65 Gear 8, I think it was level 60, yeah, it was level 65 or 70 Gear 8 Ghostbusters team in my tournaments once, and almost took it out with a Gear 6 Imperial team. Almost took it out, and I only quit because one of my characters died. And that means I wouldn't get the plus 10. Ghostbusters are so unbelievably bad. The only thing that's obviously not holding them back is the only thing that's propelling them forward is Slimer and Egon, which you can use in meta teams. However, I'm looking at this faction-wise, and Slimer and Egon are good, and the ultimate Egon has is pretty good. But it's just Rayman, Venkman, Winston. Winston actually does have the highest health in the game, I'm pretty sure. He can hit 30k, which is higher than any other character in this game. But, dude, man, this faction sucks. And I would rank it, maybe I would rank it higher. Maybe I would put it over City. If it wasn't for the fact that the event itself sucks so bad. Let's take a little peek at the event store, right? Looking over here, just casually 30 tiles for 30 bucks, 30 tiles for 30 bucks, right? 60 bucks, but that's the usual. This is just awful, man. Like, we only got like 2 deals too, right? That are specific to Ghostbusters. And we look at the event store. Right, and it's still just, dude, man, this event is just not it, Chief. This event is so bad. And the fact that I did put City over Ghostbusters, mostly because Ghostbusters are just paywalled so hard. And this faction is just incredibly disappointing. But that's going to do it for this video. I hope you enjoyed. Make sure to like, comment, subscribe, and I'll see you in the next video. Peace.